Hey crafters, it's me Jen Evers with Koala T Crafts and welcome to another Free Play Friday where we do techniques that are either new or new to you, or maybe they're just something that you forgot that you knew how to do. And so today we are going to be doing painting with embossing powders. Now I don't mean literally getting out our canvas and heating up our little pots of embossing powder and painting with it. I'm talking about simply just using your embossing powders to create color on top of your cards. I'm going to show you a few things that I'm going to be using today. You could use whatever you have around your house. Basically, you need something that is a clear sticky ink. So Versamark pads are filled with the stuff. It's just clear and sticky. Makes your fingers shiny. Hi Susie, hi Arrow Mama, hi Janine. So you can use the refills and just use your paint brushes or whatever you have laying around if you want to just use these. They look much newer now, but we can also get these. This one comes with a dauber top, and you can just pull that right out with a pair of needle nose pliers and dump that solution out if need be. Otherwise, you can use, hi Kathy Webb, hi Melanie, you can use brushes and stuff and just use the dauber. You can use the dauber straight on. Mostly what I'm going to be using today, and I just want to show you that my embossing Versamarks are really dirty, and that is still going to work. Even though your Versamarks get dirty, they still do Versamark sticky ink stuff. It doesn't matter if there's a little dirt on them, they're still good to go. I just want to let you know that. You don't have to have a pristine one to work with it. Another one is a Dove blender. This is refillable. It also has a nice pointed tip. So that's kind of a brush tip, but it doesn't move like Copics would. But I like this one. And then this one is my favorite. The Dove is really nice, but this one's my favorite. It's a watermark pen by Versamarker, and it's got a big brush nib. I've just refilled this, so it is like sloppy full, actually. I might have to get a little, actually, you know what, I'll use this little towel I have handy here and just wipe it off. I've refilled this with this. So literally all you do is pull the nib out and put that in. Use an eyedropper or something, you're going to get it all over the place. But anyway, I like this one. It's got that great big brush end, and then it also has this little teeny end on it. I forget that I moved my camera. I'm hoping that this will give us a better view of things. If it becomes an irritation or you guys don't like the new view, let me know. So we're going to be going over a couple of these different projects that I have out for you today. But remember, it is also, hey Linda, hi Debbie, hi Rosa, a sale weekend. So I won't be going right up until 6. We'll be doing about a half hour, 45 minutes-ish. This is one where I literally colored in each one and painted each separate color on here. So you can take any of your stamps. If they're solid stamps like this little guy, super simple. You just put them in your Versamark, stamp them on your page, and then choose the embossing color of your choice and emboss them. That's all there is to it. If you have little white spaces in it, such as this little guy right here, then you're going to want something that's got a little bit more of a, a small little tip like this one, so that you can go in and just color those little pieces that you want that color. Dump your powder on, heat set it, then go back in, color your next section, do a different color, heat set it. You get the idea. But that's how I did this one. Everything on here besides the background is all done by painting with embossing powders. Another technique, and this is just so in case I don't get through all of them, that you get a chance to see what I have here. Another technique is to take one of your stencils, put it over the top, and then ink your Versamark through there, through the whole thing. And before you lift it up, go ahead and put on the colors that you want, then lift it up, then heat set it. That's how I got this pattern here. So obviously you can pick any of the colors of embossing powders that you have. If you don't have a lot of embossing powders, you can take like a background stamp such as this. It's not a background stamp, but I used it as such. All I did was just leave this all together on here, put my Versamark on there, put my paper down, peel it up, and then sprinkle on all the colors that I wanted. Dust it off, and then heat set it. You can also do this with the stamps. So let's say I have these stamps. You can use your embossing markers or markers that will stay wet. Do not use alcohol-based markers. Use your Crayolas. Use your cheap little set that you got of like 48 markers. Color these with the markers, and if it's too much and they start drying out, give it a really light spray. I really prefer this sprayer. It's one that's never broken on me. I've had this same one for a long time now. It's a distress sprayer. You can find that at koalatcrafts.com. Spray it a little bit and then put it down, and then run a clear embossing powder over the top. And then that way the clear embossing powder will pick up the color that you drew on the stamp with your markers, and it'll turn out different colors. Now you are not doing it that way. You are not going to get the vivid colors such as these that I got on here, okay? If you're trying it that way. But if you really don't have a lot of embossing powders, that's a great way to do it. Hi Raggedy. Hi Donna. Hi Esther. Hi Penny. Well, hello Jamie. Hey Tracy. So here's another really cool one that I did. I took this light bulb stamp that I have here, and all I did was take my brush, decide where I wanted the colors, sprinkle them on, heat set it, run my marker over again, put what color I wanted on, and heat set it. And you'll get to see that in a moment. I just want to make sure that if you've already done this, maybe it's just a reminder. I'll give you a bunch of ideas, and then we're going to take off and do some of this stuff. And then another tip, this purple part right here, I didn't have purple to match it, so all I did was just run my marker over the edge of another piece of paper or your Versamark pad like this, and then emboss it that color. All the rest of the paper underneath here is still white. I just did the edges so it looked like I had a piece of purple paper, pinkish purplish paper that matched this, and it all came together. Okay? Hi Elise. So it's just a lot of fun. Now, we can get this stamp, so if you want to pre-order that, you can jump on over to our pre-order page. It's listed in the description box below. You can use any of your stencils for that. We have tons of stencils of them on sale tomorrow, so come back here at 10 if you want to get those. This one, I'm buffering, and it says excellent connection. How weird is that? This one I do not have. This one is out of stock. However, I made a digi of these. Not exactly the same, obviously, they've got differences. But I've made my own digis of 2 different light bulbs. And if you join us on Patreon, you'll get those 2 light bulbs digis for free over in the Patreon group. So that is patreon.com/Koala T Crafts. Hi, Eva. Nice to see you. Okay, so let's go over some of these different things. This one also was an embossing folder that I brayered over. So, like, there's tons of different things that I've done here. Let's start out with one of the easiest ones. Now, you're going to lose a little bit of embossing powder doing this, but it doesn't bother me. Usually we have tons and tons of embossing powder. We don't use enough of it, and so if we lose a little bit doing some techniques, it's not that big of a deal. This one is already sticky, this embossing, or stencil. But if yours is not sticky, we also carry, what is that? The Pixie Spray at koalatcrafts.com. So you can get the Pixie Spray if you want. So I'm just going to put this down over the top of my card. Some of the sticky is worn off because I didn't wash it as well as I should have. So maybe I'll have to spray it. But anyway, I just want to give you an idea of this. So these aren't going to be grandiose perfect because I'm not going to take super great time doing them. So I'm just going to go over all of this. Yeah, I think it's going to come right up, but we'll get the gist. So the Versamark on top of there. And then just grab what colors you want and sprinkle them on. And I think I'm going to do this one like maybe fallish colors. And you don't have to go in lines or whatever. I'm trying to be a little bit not dump on tons of it because I know I'm not going to recoup all this. I could do each color if I knew that was going to stay down, but it's not going to stay down, and I know that, so I'm just going to go ahead and be a little bit sparing with my powder, but try to cover all of this. And you don't have to cover it all completely 100% because, ooh, do I have some red? There we go. Once we shake this side to side, it's going to move over and cover some of the holes that we missed. And if it leaves some white space, that's okay too. White space always makes a project look pretty cool. So we're going to pick this up, and I'm just going to tap underneath it so that it starts popping around. Ooh, see, it's lifting up, so now it's going to go under my stencil. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to peel this off and see what we got underneath here. Oh, this one's going on the side. I'll have to wash that later. And then I'm just going to dump this off. So I missed just a little bit on the edges, but I got a pretty good mix in the rest of it. Now if we want to, we can lay down another sheet of paper. Not all is lost. And we can cover up some of those parts we missed with some of this stuff that's coming off of here. Okay, same with this one. If there's any other parts that, some on this side that I didn't get quite well. Some down the middle I didn't get, so I'm going to just ran that down there. And then pretty much everything got covered. Now we're going to go ahead and heat set this. Now, if you want to keep jars and call this one like fall, you can put this in a tiny jar that you have. But like I said, I'm not going to worry about that today. So let's go ahead and heat set this one. I'm using the Sizzix heat gun that has 2 different speeds, and I'm going to put it on full bore. You want to let it heat up some so that it starts right away when it hits your paper. There we go. I thought I felt a little bit of sandy grittiness on this side, but there we go. We've got it all embossed. Pretty cool, huh? That's not my favorite one, but it sure does the trick. Next, I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? I got a lot of, I'll probably have to wipe this off at the end. when you work with embossing powder, no matter how hard you try, you're always going to have a little bit of it stuck everywhere. This one is this, it was this light bulb, but I'm going to do just the plain light bulb this time. This one is my favorite. Okay, and I'm going to need a big block for that. That'll work. Now you can go ahead and emboss this up, which is what I did with this other one. The black is embossed as well. You don't have to, but I'm going to do that. That way I can stick with the Versamark and I don't have to get out another color. And I just have to grab my black one, because that one I don't have in a jar. I have in a big container. If you have embossing powders that you prefer, that you use a lot, this is a really nice way of doing it. And if you have an anti-static bag, this was a great way to get that oil and stuff that you got on the paper from your hands. Especially if you're using black, so that you can get it so that the black doesn't stick everywhere. I'm going to put a little bit more on the bottom. And even though I did use my embossing static pad, I'm going to go ahead and take a brush. I'm just going along the sides here for any of that embossing powder that stayed along the edges, anything that went in the middle. I'm going to cover most of the middle with embossing powder anyway, but that's a good way to start. Make sure to cover your embossing folders, or your embossing powders, caps and covers and all that when you're heating, because you don't want that stuff blowing everywhere. It is so hard to clean up. Alright, now we get to what I consider the painting part, where you can use your Versamark markers and your Dove pens and paint where you want that to go, similar to this one. Even silver. See, like I've got silver on there. This one I did the opposite one, the opposite stamp, so you won't see that one as much. I'm going to do the Dove blender this time. I'll look around and see, like, I'm going to want like some yellows on the inside, I think. Maybe a yellow and an orange. So here's where the painting magic begins. I'm going to like paint down the center here and create kind of a yellowish spot here. I didn't get all of it, so I went back in and wetted it again. And then I'm going to heat set that. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put some around the edge. Ooh, this one is, I forgot this one is soppy wet. Where's my towel? Buried it. There it is. So that got soaking wet. And I'm just going to go around it. Not meaning to be perfect or anything like that. Just putting some orange on there this time. See how I didn't get an actual perfect drawing on there? I want it to look edgy, not perfect. So this turns out really cool. If your powder is going all over the place, you can always go underneath as well. I'm really surprised that this is not melting. I wonder if this, oh, I guess it is melting a little bit. This one actually says Orange Puffs Embossing by Ranger, but I don't see it. It is melting, but I don't see it puffing. So that did not give me quite the orange I wanted. I'm going to go in again. I'm going to pick out another orange. Let's look at this one. Okay, Stampin' Up! Powder. We're going to go in with that. This one again, I'm going to wipe off some of it. Put a little bit where I think I want this. Again, I'm trying not to make too harsh of lines. And let's see what we get with this. Ooh, there we go. There we go. We got some beside it and some a little bit over it. So we'll have a little bit of light orange, a little bit of dark orange. Oops, I don't want to waste that. Let's put her back in the jar. That is cool. I really like that. Alright. Let's go over a little bit with this darker yellow. Did that one the first time. This is more of a golden yellow. So go ahead and just tap around that to get a little bit more yellow vibe coming out to the top. I'm not going to put any in the middle, I don't think. Let's see what we get with this. There we go. That's going to look so cool. Let's tap off a little bit more. Hey, buddy. Oh, oh, I know. I'm going to shoot a video, though. I'll have to ask them if they want to see you. Just gotta wait a minute. Oh, you know what? I need my purple roly guy. Where did I set him? I can't find him right now. Okay, I'll have to use him later. Can't find my roller picker upper. Okay, just a second. Okay, alright. He needs to come up and see everybody. This is Coda if you haven't met him yet. He's 3. Okay. You gotta be down for a little bit. Mom's working. Alright, let's go ahead and emboss that. You know, I think that orange stuff might have puffed up a little bit. Baby. Look how cool that turned out. So pretty. I'm going to go ahead and use a wet wipe because I can't seem to find my magic roller. Oh, no way, it's not around. Is that it? No. I'll have to use a baby wipe because I can't find my roller right now. The roller would have picked this right up with no wet mess or no anything. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and dry that off real quick. Okay, we are going to do silver. You want to dance, baby? Oh, dance. Silver. Silver's next. He hasn't wanted to sit by me all day, but now I must look awfully interesting. So we're going to fill this in. I'm going to try to use this little Dove blender to do that. I really believe that the Dove blender is a lot more like a blending out watercolors, but because it's so wet when it comes out of there, if you get your embossing powder on there, it works great. I just wouldn't use it and let it sit because it's not going to stay as wet as Versamark. But this is working out really well, and it has much more of a pointed end, which it's just working out so much better. I like to not cover up all the black because then you can't really tell where all the markings and stuff are. It just looks a lot better if you don't cover up all the black, but that's my opinion. You can do what you want. Again, if you want to get these light bulbs, right now they're out of stock from our vendor, but I've done a digi of 2 light bulbs. I was going to attach the picture and I completely forgot. You can get that for free by joining us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Koala T Crafts, and we'll put you into that group. You'll be supporting the community, and then you'll get those digis for free, along with another free digi every month of the year. All right, let's go ahead and heat set that. Ooh, that went really fast. And now you can see where that is. This is so pretty. I love this. Okay. Now to pull this off to make it look a little bit more like surreal, I'm going to use a little bit of ink. And I think I'm going to go with a lemon whip because it's super subtle. Super duper subtle. And I'm going to use one of these to do it. So I have these marked just like Tim Holtz marks his. I don't know how he gets them out so easy. But this one is already earmarked for yellow. You can see that it's yellow already. I'm just gonna, I might have some yellow on there anyway. No, not really. So this should be able to, there we go. So this should make it look like it's glowing a little bit, but not so bright that it's just gonna make it look kind of crazy. You see that? And you can go out as far as you want. Pretty cool. And we could have done any colors with that. So if you've got different colors that you want to use or you don't have yellows, try something else. And so that I want to use on a card. And we're running out of time. Quickly running out of time. So I am going to try to make this one into a card for you guys. So let's do a 5.5 fold here. This is half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Cut in half and scored at 5.5 so that we've got a top folding card. And this guy is going to go right here. So I'm going to chop off a little bit of it. I'm going to chop it from the top there, where that seemingly ends. Looks like my cutter is dirty. That looks really good. We'll cut off a little from the sides too. Okay. Nice. That'll work. I like that silver. You know what? I want that silver to stand out, so I'm going to go ahead and use paper out here. This was the trick I was telling you about earlier. I'm just going to go down the edge of this card. And it doesn't matter how much you put on, because we can go back over it if need be. All I'm doing is running this on the edge. And then I'm going to pull that silver back out. This definitely looks like a color I could use more of. But we have some pre-orders for sets of different colors. So if you want to do this and you're not set with your embossing powders yet, check out the link in the description box below. That will get you there. So you see, I'm not going to waste my powder doing the whole card. And normally I would do this on a separate thing because this is going to curl up a little bit, but I'm not going to take that time because I have to get going here shortly. So we're just going to do this one. voila. I have silver paper. Let that dry, cool down just a little bit. So when I put this over the top, check it out, it's going to look like I have this whole sheet of silver paper under there. Cool, yeah? We'll go ahead and put this upside down. That looks neater. And sometimes your paper isn't perfect. So I'm going to go ahead, I see white on this side, and I don't like the look of that. So I'm just going to cut off that sliver of paper. Done. Perfect. So you can put this, you can, lay it, pop it up or lay it down. I'm going to go ahead and lay this one down today. Normally I would pop it up because I think it looks really cool, which is what I did here. I popped this up and that up. I had an extra layer and I embossed that layer. And then I wet embossed it again. I painted on the bricks with my embossing powder. And so we're going to put it on here. As centered as I can get it anyway. So there's another really cool card. And then I'm sure there's some really fun light bulb sentiments and stuff. What's on this one? Shine Brilliant. Oh, why can't I read that? Oh, you brighten my day. I know, buddy. I know. Let's do this little Be Positive since I've got a little time before I jump off of here. About another minute or so. So I do hope that just because I didn't get to a full card on these, and I didn't get to fully show you every technique that I mentioned, I do hope the ones that I did mention were worthwhile, and that it gave you an idea of something that you can do in one of your own projects, that type of thing. I'm just going to go ahead and put this on with black. I love pink fresh inks. I'm going to put it right on the side here because it's going to like go around the light bulb, and it says Be Positive. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, I love that so much. If you join us on Patreon, you will get not this set, but a set nonetheless from me that I drew. They're really cool. Just ask some of the people who do Zoom because they've already gotten a chance to see them. So if you're a Zoomer, you get backstage, back behind the, what do you want to call it? Behind the scenes. I'm just going to wipe this little stamp off of the black ink that I used. And then I'm going to clean up. So I usually recap, so let me pull out a couple of the things just in case you missed the beginning. And then I'll show you what we did cover too. Oh, buddy. Okay, come here. Come here. What's up, huh? What's up? Oh, goodness. Okay, yeah, you want to stand. Stand on the lap. All right. So, show you guys a couple of the things that I covered this one because I think this one is my favorite. And then we did this one, but we happened to do it in different fall colors. So to get these really pristine little things, you got to keep your feet down, Buster Brown. To get this to be really intricate, get yourself some of those Jot stick-on stencils. If you don't have a stick-on stencil, go to koalaTcrafts.com, get yourself some pixie spray, because you will get all this neat, clear white space if you do that. It works beautifully. This is one we did not cover, but it's simply color and fill and heat. Color, fill, heat. Color, fill, heat. So this is fun to do, but it's a little bit time consuming. So if you have all of your stuff out, by all means go for it. I sat and did all this stuff in like one day. I just kept going and going and going. This one, of course, we can get this one on koalatcrafts.com. If you want that one, let me know. $14.99 for this stamp set. And I literally First I marked it, put my paper right on top of it, peeled it off, and then I just sprinkled. I laid out a couple of dishes of embossing powder, and I just sprinkled a bunch of different spring colors on there, and that's what I got. So cool. And then this one is a marker. So I went around with a darker green marker to make it look like I had an extra layer in there. And the one behind it here, that is just some pattern paper that looks glitzy. So I got that on there as well. And so that's a whole bunch of ideas about how you use embossing powders for painting. Painting with embossing powders. There's a lot more you can do, so grab your stash. If you decide to make some of this stuff, please go to Koala T Crafts on Facebook and share it with us. We'd love to see what you're making. We like to be inspired. Yeah, Coda wants to learn embossing too. I'm sure he does. He wants to sit with the mama. Now he's nudging me because he wants me to pet him. Leave a message down below. Which one was your favorite? And did you get something out of this video? If not, maybe there's something that I could learn and do in a video down the road. So go ahead and teach me something if you've got something new. And I believe that is it. Everything got changed around again. So I'm hoping that as I end this, it turns out the way it should. We have a sale tonight for patrons only. And then we have a public sale tomorrow. Lots and lots of stuff going on sale tomorrow. Like, let's get it out the door. End of the year inventory stuff. You're not going to want to miss it. Invite a friend, seriously. It's going to be a really good one. And then, of course, mentioned in the chat is going to be Zooms as usual. Every Tuesday, Thursday, not this weekend, but every other Saturday when there's not a sale. 1 p.m. we start a Zoom. If we've got lots of people, we go till 9 o'clock at night. If we only have a few, maybe we'll cut it off at 4 p.m. It just depends. But we would love to see a lot more and a lot new faces. We've got like regulars in there, and don't get me wrong, when it's just, 6, 7 of us, we have a blast. But we would love to see new faces in there. Come on in and share your talents with us. You can just come in and chat. You can come in and craft. You can come in and do both. We don't judge. It's just a place to be friendly and have a great time. So we'd love to see more of you guys there. Thank you so much, Sherry. I really appreciate that. Have an awesome rest